Hi, I'm Dr. Kimberly Garth James, and I'm definitely trying to push my book, Eleuthera, Improve Corrections Performance, and Save Our Communities with E-Learning and Work. The first book here, Eleuthera in Corrections, really laid out the plan for corrections management and some improvements that they could make using work models. The second book, which I think has a really neat jazzy cover, adds the e-learning and work models. In California, there's been a lot of discussion of late about AB 109, which is the realignment of corrections. And I know as I'm getting emails in from people about the new book, they wanted to know, what am I writing about that could help with corrections management of the offending population to return our communities to safer places? And so I looked through the book, and I have a chapter in here on offender reform, e-learning education, chapter 7, and it's not in the first book, but it's in this book. And one of the objectives of this chapter is to understand the importance of education in corrections to help with offender reform, and to hopefully help the public gain awareness of e-learning education. So I talk about offender reformation and how corrections has to manage those tough issues. And I try to bring those issues to life by talking about Jamal. He's a character in this book, Eleuthera, with the e-learning and work model. And he's also a character in my first book, Eleuthera. And so Jamal happens to be incarcerated in this chapter, and he's talking about his experiences with another young lady friend of his, and some of the challenges of finishing his education and even finding marketable job skills training. So I talk about how corrections is responsible for helping offenders with their reformation goals, and that includes finishing their education. So I provide a framework for e-learning correctional education that uses the critical literacy theory. I think that the critical theories, those that focus on culture, that body of work has really given a boost to academia in the area of criminal justice and public administration, and it really fits nicely for offender reform. I talk about the cultural aspect of literacy, where we really use the offender's experiences as a learning opportunity for them and to help connect them to education in general. And then I even look at female offenders, the whole history of that. You know, our female offending population in 1935 hovered around 5 to 7,000 in incarcerated settings as prisons and jails in the United States. And today they are over 1 million females. These women have children. So literacy and work is very important to their rehabilitation. I talk about some studies that were done by the U.S. Department of Education on that. And I try to tie the studies to actual actions, because I believe in evidence-based decision making. It's not a word. What it means is that we use the data to help us with implementing or developing and implementing programs in our correctional facilities. I even have a section in here on inmate esteem, and this came from traveling and talking to inmates around the United States and into other countries about their own esteem, how they feel about themselves when they're able to complete their education, the GED or the diploma, or even a couple of college classes, and the impact that that has on their children's education. So In terms of AB realignment and making it a reality in California and other states to have our inmates or ex-offenders come back to our communities as neighbors and family members that can contribute, there's a lot in this book that I think corrections can learn from. Thank you.